Now, fun fact about me becoming a music artist in the first place, I re-downloaded TikTok after like 3 or 4 years of being off of it. Because I was on it back when it was just a bunch of stupid trends and skits and shit. Or I didn't have a For You page. I'm not sure. But it was pretty stupid back then. But when I got back onto it at 13, wait, hold on.
Apart from assaulting his offspring, Mr. Funke pursued a wide range of other hobbies as well, such as drinking excessive amounts of beer, losing money in the lottery, or abusing his wife in front of his son. By the time Arno was 10,
what?
the situation had spiraled out of control.
13 or 14. I think it was 14. Pretty sure it had to have been. I found Sky Daddy, spelled SKYDXDDY. She is the music artist that started my entire career. Like, she inspired me to release my music and put my story out there to try to help other people as well, even before I knew what was happening. Because when I found her music, I was still in a grooming situation. Trigger warning from here. The first song of hers I ever came across was a TikTok clip of Don't Talk About It. The original one, not the sad version. Was the first clip I ever found was the first Don't Talk About It that she released. And I had already been listening to some songs by Beth Crowley that were it tipped off my mother, let's just say that. Like, there's one called Trenches by Beth Crowley that I used to listen to just about every day, that literally starts with, I start to dial your number, and I can't help but wonder which side of you I'll get tonight. So, that, and then I started listening to songs like Don't Talk About It and Triggered, which, if anybody doesn't know, it's Don't Talk About It. Literally, the first clip I ever found of it was one of the first verse. It says, don't ask me how I'm doing, I'm gonna lie to you. I feel the need to please my people, it's just what I do. So dry your tears, I always got you, ain't as bad as it seems. I can't imagine if I lost you, you mean too much to me. I'm writing paragraphs to beg you not to end it all tonight. Because I know that you would always do the same for me, right? If the roles were reversed and I was fading away, you would take my 13 reasons why, get me million to stay. What do you mean you can't talk right now? I knew I was the burden. No one wants to talk to me when I'm really hurting. And this is why I lie, why I smile and fake it all. Being broken isn't hot to you, and depression's a turn off, so turn it on. Pretend again that everything's okay. Save the mental breakdown, save the tears, ignore the pain. Wait till you're alone so no one sees you at your worst, because the more you open up, the more it fucking hurts. So, that is, and then Triggered. A lot of people have heard that. So, look up Triggered by Sky Daddy if you don't know that song. But those were the first songs I heard from her. And that tipped off my mom, because I was never one. My whole growing up, I didn't really listen to music very much. And when I did, it was shit from shows I watched, like My Little Pony or Frozen. So when I started listening to music like that, it made her go, wait a minute, this is bad. So, when I found Sky Daddy's music, I started, because I've always written songs, Like,
So you did that in school. The teachers
but,
would be like,
and I
"So,
used to
Miss
record
Lim,
clips of songs I'd record.
considers your child seeing a
I actually used to
psychologist? We just wanna make
record
sure
a lot of,
it's
like,
okay, 'cause we keep drawing teddy bears
romantic
on
songs and shit and sing them
no.
for
So
my
normal.
partners
As
or
time wore on,
record
his
them and
paintings grew
send them to
increasingly
them
somber, and
without
clear
backing tracks or
indication that while
anything.
art may have slowed its
But,
descent into the abyss, it would neither halt nor reverse it. Not even the most opaque color could conceal the empty canvas.
when
Mrs. Funke, though aware of her son's disquieting artwork,
I'm
maintained her
gonna,
iron grip on his
like,
freedom.
username drop
Reprieve
here,
from
but
this
when Pyro,
confinement came in the form of brief
that
trips
was
to
what he
communal
went by.
toilets, which they shared with other teens. And of course, he was allowed to
I
school. Arno attended
literally know nothing about him,
rather problematic
but
institution to this day,
he,
plagued by violence and drugs among the students and resignation among the teachers. It had been a catch basin for those without prospects. Arno blended seamlessly with this backdrop. By no means
was
did he cause much trouble for his teachers. He attended the
13,
passively, often
and
isolating
he was
himself to the
21.
last row, and constantly lost himself in his own imagination.
On VR
In terms
chat,
of academic performance, Arno navigated his early school
I
years as if it was nothing but failure. It
fell
was quite the norm at this school, yet he seemed to defy the odds. He moved
hook, line,
effortlessly
and
through
sinker.
any intellectual challenge, conquering test after test with an ease that belied his
You know what?
reservedness. Languages, though, never his
It's
strong
time I
suit.
tell the
Arno
story.
struggled to wrap his mind around the nuances of both German and foreign tongues.
I'm gonna
but he
make
managed
this
to
a
pass
separate
his
video
exams with little more than a
because,
shrug nonetheless. Mathematics and sciences, however,
and
were a
actually,
different story
I'm gonna
altogether.
bring
In
up
these realms,
the
design
cover
raced
for
at
this
the speed
song.
of light,
I'm
drawing
gonna tell the
connections and solving
backstory of
problems
this
with the latest
particular
advances,
cover
gasping for breath.
really
Amy
quick
made an attempt to
before I start, and then after I'm gonna get back to, or if I remember, I'm gonna get back to explaining all my videos and stuff, but it's time I tell this story, and I do want to post this as soon as possible, because I have nothing to lose, and if
shifted dramatically the day he discovered the wonders of the library.
if somebody
Each day at
knows
his breakfast
him,
school, he would load his arms with stacks of books, which he would exchange for new supplies the
feel
following
free
day.
to reach out.
Stories, adventure,
Or if
fantasy,
anybody has
novels, and
ever
appeal for him
heard
seemed
of
to
him
barely
or
manage to
anything,
emotionally connect
feel
with
free to let me
protagonists.
know.
Instead, he found solace in the crisp, clear lines of non-fiction.
This
Textbooks on technology, electronics, physics, and
this
chemistry
cover,
became his
I'm gonna use this
sustenance
as the
as he devoured
background
them
for
with
this
a
part
voracious appetite. As the
of
weeks and
the
months
video,
passed,
but
his
this
academic
is
expertise grew
the
to a
song
level
cover
that
to one of my
confusion was
songs.
explored. And yet, this newfound knowledge
The
did
person
not
on the
bring him
left is me.
pride or sense of
The person on the right
might expect.
is my
Arno
brother,
had no idea how other people functioned, or
taking
what
the picture
intellectual
with
capacity
me,
corresponded
because I
to the
had
average.
like a song cover
Therefore,
idea.
he failed to recognize that
This
his
song is
perception
I Thought
for
You'd
him
Never
becoming an
Change,
expert
and
in
it's
this
about
type of science was
how
simply a way to grow the
I
endless hours that stretched before him. His mind was
I
a
didn't
treacherous
think
sea, nonetheless,
Pyro
roiling
would
with
ever
feelings
change
of worthlessness and despair
to
that
be
threatened to
who
pull him under
I
any
never
moment.
realized he
Cloud
was.
of
But
emotional numbness dogged his every step,
over time,
casting
since
shadows
I've written
on
this
any
song,
glimmer of happiness
or since I've
dared
wrote
to
this
pierce
song,
the gloom. But Arno's autodidactic
I
pursuits
realized that
paid
he
the
never
price.
did
The
change,
more he focused on
that this
cramming the
was
advanced
just
body
him.
of engineering wisdom into his brain, the
So,
less seriously he took school.
yeah,
Soon
my
he
brother,
intellectually
actually,
transcended
I
himself from the reality
underestimated
of the
him a
classroom. He
lot
completely lost touch
because,
with the topics the teachers discussed.
he goes by
His pride
Taz,
and self-abandonment
but
caught up with him at some
Taz,
point, even forcing him to repeat 2 years of school after failing most of his exams.
he told
This
me
was,
where to
as is
stand,
the
and he
practice in the
positioned the
German
camera
educational system,
and
even though
did,
scientific studies
like,
repeatedly showed
the
that these are the
editing
worst things one could do to
for
a
this
struggling student.
picture, aside from the
Tell me,
words,
repeater
aside from the
here?
title
What
of the
if they do
song,
fail?
he did all
Can they
the
go on to the
editing.
next year? They don't
And I was
know how to do stuff,
absolutely
and they're just gonna be
stunned when I
extra
saw the
lost.
finished image.
How do
I'm
we deal
like,
with it? Even I, the author of this episode, have been forced to repeat 2 of my school years,
I
somewhat
felt
ironically
like
failing my English exams.
that was the
This is
most proud I've
crazy.
ever been
Alice's English
of
is
him.
better than mine.
He
I would
did
have
an
no
amazing
idea
job at
that
that.
this was written by someone who didn't speak English as a first language, and it's certainly much better than anything I
Because
possibly write.
Pyro used to use
And
that
well,
avatar
yes, here we are. Shout
that
out to
he,
Mr. Landstein, my former English teacher, who called me a
and
hopeless
his
failure instead of
custom
heroic
avatar that I
performance.
made for him
He did anyway.
looked a lot. It was based off that one.
In fact, funny parallels.
So, the one on the
My
left
German
is
teacher
actually
was
me,
incredibly vivid.
and I will tell
In
the
fact,
story of that
this
avatar in a
horrible
moment.
experience was the catalyst that
But
led me to pursue a career as a high school teacher myself. with the lofty intention of providing my
that
students with the
picture
attention and
was
care that was missing in my own
not
educational
a good.
journey. Unfortunately, within my first week of working at a school, I
You can
understood
probably
that
tell by
was
the
not only
setting of the
personal growth
image.
in the
The
classroom,
one
it
with
is
the
the
red eyes
entire
is supposed
educational
to
system that
be
needs to be overhauled before that's
frightening,
even been replaced.
or
After I gave up
it's
this
like
career
supposed to be
path.
scary.
The educational system is in for a hell
It
of a
looks.
shake-up, though, isn't
He
it?
did a
Like
really
this,
good job at
ChatGPT and stuff.
posing
Mess
for this
around with that.
picture,
And
because
you don't know, you don't understand something.
he
It's
actually
huge
stood
to
just like he
understand,
used to.
which is nuts.
So
Like you
that
could just be like, I don't understand this. Can you help me learn it? And you'll be like, absolutely. Here's
that
the lesson plan. And he'll be like, okay,
caught me off
let's get
guard,
going.
like the way it
Just
turned
get
out
going.
so
It's crazy.
accurate.
Anyway, Arno did not care about failing school or about literally anything else.
But you can
regarding
tell
his
I'm
future.
like
Instead, he was brooding about
doing the
the
sad
course,
face
the
to
questions.
show I'm like
By the time
scared
he
of him.
turned into a teenager, he'd internalized the theory,
But
the fundamentally broke, of having
that's
some
not my
kind of
main
just
Sona.
effect in his
It
head.
is one of
Maybe
my
he was
Sonas,
a
or I
chimp
have
going
it
in his brain,
accepted
an
it as
insatiable black hole
one of my
exclusively
Sonas more
processing
recently,
thoughts and
actually,
feelings.
because I pushed it
Entirely
away
himself,
for a
he
long
struggled
time,
to
but it
remember
wasn't
what
helping me.
Johnny even was.
So,
I mean, it does sound like he has a flaw in his
that
brain,
Sona's
but it
name
sounds
is
like the sort of
Stella.
flaw that can
My main
quite
one
be
is
treated.
Dawn. It's like a
Like,
blue and pink
yeah,
and
it's,
white
I mean,
little
yeah.
cotton candy
But
themed
unfortunately, this was the 1950s.
wolf,
As a young adult, Arno's
and
entire life had devolved into
um
a desperate pursuit for happiness, or
but
not
the
even necessarily
backstory of
happiness, but just anything
Stella
at all. He dropped out of school at the earliest possible opportunity,
is
which took away even the faintest semblance of orientation.
it
Devoid of purpose, Arno aimed
it
for something
wasn't
else
as
through
dark
his days,
before.
observing the lives of others with the keen analytical
But
eye
it
of
all
scientists.
started
He dissected the vibrant, bustling world that swirled around him, seeking to
when
replicate the formula for happiness that had
my brother
eluded him so
started
long. His theory?
VR chat
By
like
mimicking the actions of those who appeared content, their joy might somehow cease to
6
dispose of
months
desolate
before I did.
existence. He lacked intuition.
No, I don't think it was.
Happy, so
I think it was
straight
like
up
a
copied the
month.
habits of others.
But
I mean, fake it till you make it. It's not
I
bad.
wasn't really
Like,
interested in
there's
it.
that whole thing about like if you just smile,
I
you'll
kind of
get
wish it would have
something.
stayed that
And that
way,
shit
but
works, dude.
you know how
You'll just be
siblings
like, I
can
felt
get.
miserable. You're just
I
like,
was like,
and it's like, you do
I was
feel
trying to
slightly better,
avoid
don't you?
it,
It's like,
but he
hey,
talked me into
like I forced
trying it,
myself to do that from time to time.
and
Like,
I
you're like,
agreed.
okay, big smile, let's go. Arno strolled through public parks, indulged in culinary
And
experiences, immersed himself in literary masterworks. He frequented
it
pubs, reveled in the magic of
before
the silver screen, and
I
explored the
agreed. I think it was
exhibitions
the
of every
first day he
museum
was
that Berlin
on.
had to offer. Among the places he visited frequently was the
The
Mall of the
first
West,
day
a
he got on
sprawling
that
temple of
game,
luxury, a
I
glittering
believe.
monument to opulence hailed as the pinnacle of human contentment.
He
Arno
had
did not
been.
purchase. Instead, he
I
observed the
only
sea of
heard
smiling
the
faces,
story
hoping
later, I
their
think,
attitude might someday
but
rub
he had
off on
been
him. It never did. In the evenings of these eventful
in
days, Arno would go to bed without having felt anything,
like
falling asleep to the same sinister thoughts
Fur
that
Hub or
haunted him since
something,
childhood. Again
or
and again, he consciously decided to
one
take
of
his
the
time.
furry
Arno
worlds,
felt fake, forced,
just one of the
hollow
furry
feelings
hangout
of
worlds.
genuine emotion. It was a
And
robot
he'd been
unable to
like hanging out
process
in a
the
corner
literal
because
joy.
he's really
Happiness was a foreign language,
like
a concept he could describe only theoretically. The more he tried to do the right
antisocial,
things, the more his soul
he's
withered away.
really
However,
socially
Arno
awkward.
never harbored anger or envy.
And
He believed the
this
fault lay solely with himself,
guy
malfunction in his inner
who
workings.
at the time he
No one
used
else
a
could be held
deer
responsible. The following
avatar.
years were a collection of even more false starts.
He
Since
came up
nothing
to
and
him
no one
and
could truly
like
stimulate
asked
him
him
anyway,
if he was
simply let
okay and
himself drift.
everything.
He embarked on a series of vastly divergent
Now,
career
he wasn't
paths,
using
his life
headphones at this time, so me and my mom could both.
He dabbled in
We were
sign
both
painting,
like,
seeking to harness his experience
okay,
and
that
but
guy
the march
sounds
of progress
creepy.
and the rise of automation had rendered his skill set
And we
entirely
told
obsolete.
my
So
brother
relative
after he
danger
hung
that
out
he
for this
tried his
guy
luck
for
as
a
a disc
while
jockey,
that
reasoning that
we
surely
thought
a
he
fun
sounded
passion would foster a fun disposition, but alas,
sinister.
his lack of musical aptitude doomed him
And
from the outset.
later on, I
He
actually
left the
found out that
for a beverage
he
company
thought
because
Taz was a girl too.
or at least
Um,
it didn't work. Yes,
he was
later,
11 at the
physical
time.
exertion would spark life
I was
in him.
13.
Get his stints as a
He
construction
hadn't.
worker and,
We were
neck of
only
flight
18 months apart, but
real
he
world
hadn't
mechatronics
changed
like
age
technologies.
yet.
I left him feeling just as empty as before. What is mechatronics? The car. Technology
No.
combining
Wait.
electronics and mechanical engineering. Well, there you go. To be guessed that.
I think he was.
No matter the job, Arno almost immediately grew
Yeah,
apathetic. The
I think he
monotony of
was
routine
11.
chafed at his spirit, leaving him yearning for the freedom and expression that he found in the arts. It sounds like
He
an
had
artist, but
11 or 12.
I guess that's the
My
sound of
brain
money.
won't math right
And,
now,
I mean,
but
I wish you would have done it for your YouTube channel. Have a
um,
crack at it. Because that seems to be something you do find joy, like painting. So just work, try
he
your craft and paint. Like a lot of people do jobs they don't like so they can pursue their interests. Like
so
artists,
he was best friends with this guy from the moment I didn't trust it. But when I met him, the first day I was on, we were hanging out in Fur Hub. I remember this like it was yesterday, even though it was years ago. But in Fur Hub, deer in a onesie walked up to us, and he introduced me to him. I'm like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." And he seemed really normal. He seemed nice. We played Murder 4 with him all the time, and I started following him like a puppy, and he let me. That should have been the first red flag. He would tell me and Taz that we were mature for our ages, and after a couple months, something really, really weird happened one night. We were hanging out, and one of our friends, Adam, was talking to somebody, and this somber encounter strengthened the bond between the two men, which led to a positive spin on Arno's general mood. He never shared his inner darkness with anyone to this point, and Heinz's sincere attempt at understanding him felt somewhat is Adam talking to thin air? Something like that. And one of our other friends turned and looked back at him and went, "Who?" But that was not the only change Arno noticed around. Insert username here. And every other day, you would experience as soon as our friend said this person's username, Pyro stepped back and went, "Never mind. Nope, forget it." And he was acting really weird. I'd never seen him act like that before. He got really nervous and standoffish, and I'm like, "What happened?" And by this point, we were like really, really close, like sitting really close to each other and everything. So I'm like, "Are you okay?" Like, I was really concerned. Me and another one of our friends decided to get Pyro out of there because it was clear this person's presence, even though he couldn't see them, was really bothering him. So we left. And later on that night, my brother joined us, and he had heard everything. And by this point, Pyro had gone AFK like 5 times. Evidently, he was crying the whole time, and I was concerned. I was like really worried. I thought this guy had attacked him or something in the past and shit. I was really freaking out, to be honest. And even my brother was like, "You can talk to us." Like, and all he would say was that he used to be friends with this person, but things happened, and they ended up getting blocked. I then found out at some point that he told me there were 3 of them. I'm not gonna say their whole usernames, just like I'm not saying his, but the one we saw that day was Dragon. And then there were 2 others that were in the group that he blocked that all had one part of their username that was the same, but it was Dragon, Goat, and Hyena.
came a strange
and
Arno was aware of having nothing left to lose, so why not go all in? Among all the things he tried in order to finally be happy, there was one thing he had not attempted yet. A strategy that, by all appearances,
so
guaranteed to work.
that night,
Some shallow,
after
according
we
to his
ran into
observation,
Dragon
super happy,
and me and my friend got him out of there, and
super
then
rich. I guess on
Taz
the
joined us later
outside,
on.
there's like, oh,
We were
rich
still
people act
worried,
normal. Yes, they
like,
are. I
and
mean,
he
I used to not have
clearly
much
through
money,
tears
and now
told
I have
us
more money,
that he was fine,
and I think I'm
which
about the same.
neither of us
Happy?
bought
It's just like,
because
stays the same. I'm more
you're
satisfied.
you're
I
crying,
think
why, what,
like
you're
the
not
power of
okay.
satisfaction.
But
Happiness, I don't know
then,
if that really changes that much. Following this logic, Arno decided becoming incomprehensibly
he
wealthy
wouldn't
was
tell
his
us.
last shot
He
at
would not
independence.
tell
He
us
also concluded
what
that as a virtually
his
dead
history
person,
with
he
this
would
person
know
was,
yet
and I
the
thought
negative
maybe it was
consequences of
something
theorizing
traumatic.
further, so he might as well try the
It's
criminal path
fine,
right
you don't
away.
have to
This
talk
was
about it.
amazing. This is like some Walter White. This Ransom thought less of itself into his brain,
that
like a
night
great
later on.
operating system, a completely overhauled self-image that
Now
shaped his
we
decision-making.
had
He could assassinate the
we
Pope if
had
he
a
wanted. He could
friend.
strip stark naked in the middle of the street
We
and
had a
pretend he
couple
wouldn't be with him.
friends who
Was
were
to stop it.
together
By what means? His corpse on
who,
probation, he was pretty much invulnerable. In fact, he did not have to
and
hunt for long
this
until he identified
was
the appropriate
probably
target for his
not
forget-which
exactly
task.
normal
Why?
either, but
Set his sights on a very familiar institution that
it's
proudly
not
stood as a melting pot for happiness and money,
really the
seemingly unlimited
main
amounts of
focus of this video, but
during the research
we had a, it's valid for this story, but we had a friend couple who, the girl was 14 and the guy was 19, which was a lot better than me and Pyro, which was 13 and 21. But it got bad here because, and I didn't see this then. It was one of those things where, like, I knew about predators and stuff, but it was on VR. I didn't really take it seriously myself. So I didn't think anything of the age thing. It was kind of a, I thought over VR it didn't really matter because everybody's in the same areas, all grouped together. Of course, people of different ages are going to be talking, and so I didn't take it seriously. I should have, but he didn't know the ages of this couple at the time, and so he had asked Taz their ages, and he wanted to check with me to get a second opinion, like see if he was right or double check or whatever. And he's like, he said he was 19 and she's 14, and then he goes on this whole crazy, like, he starts like going hyperactive, and I thought it was hilarious at the time because he couldn't fathom the fact that they were together, and he's like losing his mind. I still have a video of this, by the way, but he's going around like freaking out about 1914, like their ages, and I'm like, okay, relax, I think you need to go to bed, because he was like half delirious or just losing his mind, I'm not sure, but it was really funny at the time. Now it just seems like he was trying to be lighthearted, because what makes me ill the most about this is that Dragon, we had just dealt with Dragon, now he's all of a sudden being all goofy and shit, and I didn't see it then, but I'll get to the part where that's bothersome here soon. But
These were the most productive
Yeah.
years of his life. By day, he
So,
worked diligently at his job,
hold
painting
up.
cars with a steady hand
Okay.
and an artist's touch. His colleagues were
Um,
oblivious to the secret Arno carried within him. Yet they did notice that he seemed increasingly,
then
well, happy.
that
Yeah, I
just
remember this.
continued for
Like,
just
I think
about the
times
rest
in
of
my
the
life,
night.
like now I feel like I've been
And
playing
then
the
the
same
next
things like a
day,
long time. Like sometimes I start a new YouTube channel or whatever, and it's like, yeah, let's go. And even that's now kind of like, okay, yeah, that's what I do. But like, I remember like back in the day when you were starting a new project.
I think the whole 1914 thing was to like see how I felt about it.
Let's go.
And since I just kind of laughed along with him about it and found it funny too at the time.
But I feel that like the rush of finding something new and exciting.
I think he kind of gauged my reaction from
Big
that.
smile on his face, pretending to head home for the night. But home was
Because
far
the
from his
next day,
destination. He would simply slip around the corner and wait. His aunt
he
pounding with
kind of
excitement as he
asked me
listened to
out.
the fading footsteps of his colleagues. When he was certain that Hines and the others had disappeared, he would sneak back into the workshop and continue tinkering on his devices. The workshop was transformed
We
into
got
an
together.
entirely different world in his hours. His blowtorch cast dancing shadows into the walls as the scent of oil and metal mingled with the cool night air. Arno's heart swelled every
And
time
I
he
still
approached his
remember.
secret project, the very thing that consumed his waking thoughts and sweetened his dreams. This is fascinating. Like he's like, fuck it.
One of our friends joined us that night. It was actually the same friend that helped me get Pyro out of the instance when we ran into Dragon. But after we got together, this friend joined us and we told them the news, and he's like, I'm sorry, repeat that sentence. And that was hilarious at the time. But and I still think his reaction was kind of funny because it was one of the more lighthearted moments before everything went wrong.
But at times collapsed into his bed at the end of the grueling day.
2 months later.
Peculiar comforting sensation. It was the anticipation of living another day.
Almost exactly 2 months later.
In the spring of 1988, Arno
his mother caught him, or this is what he says happened. I'm pretty sure it is, though. His mother caught him talking to me, or found out that we were together and shit. And she went off. He almost had to block me, and it was really emotional and everything. He, yeah, it was, I don't know. It was bad. But then,
days earlier, he had scouted the perfect location for his
after he almost had to block us, and he was gone for about a week,
with a surreptitious glance to ensure he was unobserved, he set the box in place, made sure it was out of the reach of children, and activated the timer.
He started hanging around again. But him and another friend of ours started getting closer, like they were like brothers, and he started getting mean towards me, specifically. He used to be obsessed with Apex Legends. We used to play it all the time together at that point, and he would, when I do something wrong, he was like competitive in it, and it kind of made sense to me, because it's like, okay, people get pissed off over games all the time. It's not a big deal. At least that's what I thought then. He would yell at me every time I'd make a mistake. And after his mother went off on him, we had decided we were just going to be friends. But that's another point, that we actually didn't say it that way. We said we were taking a break. We were taking a break until I was 18. That. He had never tortured animals, never harmed his peers, and never no, I understand that. Or stealing prior to, his crime series revolving around deception and stealing. Up to this point, it was the embodiment of careful and restraint.
As far as I know, he wasn't even into questionable pornography.
Then,
As he left the ball empty-handed,
so he'd yell at me whenever I'd do anything wrong in the game. He started putting me down. He was really mean to me. And of course, this other friend backed him up, started putting me down, even though this other friend had, like, adopted me as his virtual sister. He just randomly walked up to me one day in the murder lobby and went, "I'm adopting you as my little sister." I'm like, okay. He used to be my best friend. He has since started ignoring me and won't talk to me. He's still best friends with my brother, but he won't talk to me anymore. But anyway, that's aside from the cruelty, all of a sudden, and I was still clinging to him. It hurt me that he was acting that way, but I brushed it off as school stress or whatever, like college stress, because he was in college at a time when I would have been in fucking middle school if I wasn't homeschooled, but that's the age I was.
What about the bomb? Perhaps it had been discovered and defused in the nick of tiny reasons. Then again, it no longer mattered. The green dot served
before
as a promise, a guarantee that he was about to receive his much needed windfall.
for about a week.
It's just like,
he was like, he brought it up literally as the birds and the bees, and he started talking to me about it for about a week of planning and like making me comfortable with it. And 2 days before my 14th birthday,
a ransom note had arrived just days before, directing you to a unique radio time and date.
Was the first time he coerced me into inappropriate things through the headset.
One of your first ideas is to simply trace the signal back to its origin in order to ensnare.
He said it would be a one-time thing, and naturally told me, "This is our secret. This stays between us. Don't tell anybody."
Making a beeline for the signal source as indicated on radar. But what you find is far from what you expect.
It wasn't the only time.
The area, you discover not an extortionist,
I
but self-made gadget,
kept journals
connected to a cassette recorder and a timer, all taped to a random tree in the heart of a bustling public park. The apparatus.
My birthday is in August, and by December of that year, I had counted 20 times.
Speak to the nearby lake where you are to deliver the ransom. Need your trusted police colleagues by your side. You gather the cash and drive to the designated body of water. Sun dips below the horizon as you arrive. You cautiously step onto a small wooden jetty. The old planks creak.
And then,
at the end of the bridge, you discover a small box connected to a steel cable.
There was another friend.
The dark, still surface of the lake.
When he'd get really cruel, there was another friend who I'd been friends with for a long time.
How's he gonna get that money?
He went by DJ. He was always there.
Is he under the water? Is he in the
and when Pyro would get cruel, he supported me. He was one of the only people I ever told.
Place the money into the box.
One of the only people I
trusted. As soon as you release your grip, the box springs to life, plunging into the lake with a resounding splash. It seemed as if the steel cable had pulled
him and Adam helped me.
The direction of the opposing shore. You deduce the extortionist must be
I only told DJ for a long time. And when Pyro found out that I told him, he got really mad. And he went off on me.
Gasping for breath, you reach the opposite bank, only to find it eerily deserted. Full of money, no steel cable. You left to puzzle over your predicament, failing to notice that the climax is already unfolding. Back on the wooden walkway.
I found out at some point he had a couple friends with benefits he was seeing as well, also through VR. And bless you.
That's a risk that So Arno's thinking
My mom just sneezed in the background. She's been asleep through
Act
this.
3. The
But,
Prestige. As you and your team are busy scratching your heads,
so
desperately trying to figure out where the ransom had gone,
then,
the mastermind emerges from his hiding spot close to the jetty, back on the other side of the lake. Casually steps out to collect the money from beneath the wooden planks.
he,
Yes.
bless you.
No person had been reading one manual. Instead, a self-built winch complete with battery powered waterproof vent had been responsible for the movement. Days earlier,
I'm trying to remember when this time. Nope, it was. I think. I think it did happen before.
But in truth, the pulley system attached to the bottom
Did
of the
it?
lake had redirected it straight back to
I'm not. I don't think it did. But at some point, he was really cruel. He started getting really bad. I have, since I started VR, I have been able, and nobody really has believed me on this, but anybody who's been in VR and experienced getting a shot and being able to feel it, you'd know it's not a fun thing to have phantom senses. It can be really cool, but at the same time, it can be horrifying. Because I could always feel everything. And there was one day we were hanging out. It was me, Pyro, DJ, and the friend that was like brothers with Pyro. And Pyro and him started like shooting me with like rifles and shit, and handing me bombs and shit. It was cruel and painful, and DJ was trying to protect me through it. It got really bad when they kept laughing at me because I was faking it or whatever. And at one point, he looked down at his hand and he said, "Oh yeah, I have claws." And then he essentially slapped me across the face, more clawed me, but I could feel it. And I yelped and fell back into DJ, who then aimed a gun at Pyro in-game. And Pyro was still mocking me, but DJ was audibly fuming, and like he wanted, if he could reach through the screen and actually punch him, he would have. But that stuck with me. I actually have uploaded a video that or a clip. It's in one of my edit videos, but I ended up getting close to DJ, and then Pyro came crawling back. He acted like he was crying and shit. He may have actually been doing it, but it doesn't mean anything now, because after I accepted him back, DJ and Adam both left for a time because DJ was obviously hurt. So I was on my own again. After the 20 times I counted, by December, I stopped counting. And throughout the next 4 months, it was almost every single day. And if I felt sick or I remember at least once, I distinctively feel like I was barely conscious. I was about to black out, and when I said I don't feel good, he threatened to go to one of his friends with benefits and proceeded to tell me that they could do better. So I kept going because I still didn't want him to leave.
How about dropping the money from the train? The attentive listener may recall 4 years later, following the second bombing, Arno would also resort to this method. However, in 1988, his plan was
somewhere in that time was when I made this avatar based off of an avatar that Goat used to use.
Traveling on this train with his bag of money, and at some point, I'm gonna phone
after he was gone, Adam, whom I had gotten back in contact with, Adam and DJ, and
that's kind of the sort of thing I've just a bag of money thrown out the window.
Adam got me back in touch with Dragon from the night that Pyro started acting really weird. Because I had contacted Goat, and she didn't remember him. Like, she told me that that trio used to be pedophile hunters on VRChat. They used to track them down, report them, and get them removed.
Jump out of the moving train, chase after him, but he prevented that all by choosing
and as soon as she told me that, I knew that it was actually true. And she didn't remember it. She was 16 at the time. She was the victim at the time. And that avatar is based off of one she used to use. He had me make a custom one that looked like it. And when Adam got me in contact with Dragon, I told him everything, and he told me what he remembered about the situation was that, yes, Pyro had been preying on Goat, and
throughout his shift, Arno did his best to maintain the facade of normalcy.
That was a year before I knew him. From 13 to 15, I had to deal with it because I couldn't bring myself to get rid of him. Pyro had his claws in me deep, and Adam and DJ came to me one day and decided they gave me an ultimatum: block him, remove him from the server, or we're leaving. Because that was the only way to get me to listen. And so I did it. But I stayed in contact with him in the background for a few months. By December, he decided to leave because I was back with DJ at that point, and we had even done a little VRChat wedding in the whole nine, officiated by my mom. And so Pyro decided he was gonna leave for my own good, supposedly. I don't believe it, because not a week later, he disappeared entirely from the internet. All of his social medias, his Discord, his VRChat, all just disappeared. I have not been able to find any trace of him since. It's like he never existed. And a common theme is everybody acts like it's just VR. Everybody says it's just VR. But when you can feel everything, when it's like you're actually there, they say, just why didn't you just take off the headset? Just take off the headset. Just turn off the game. It's not that easy. Not when you're there. Not when you believe in this person and think they're just in a bad mood.
He just wanted to escape by any means necessary.
That
Arno ran,
nearly killed me.
muscles ignited in torment.
Sky's music was the only thing that made me feel like I was alone. Or wasn't alone. Like, it's the only thing that made me feel like I wasn't alone in this. And, of course, people mocked me about that too. It's just music. Shit like that. It's not.
A deafening shot went off, shattering the silence and hurling Arno's adrenaline through the sky. His movements froze. Shell shock.
So he disappeared, and I have not heard anything from him since. Since then, I'll admit, I ended up leaving DJ at one point, and he blocked me recently, and I understand. I do miss him, but I understand. If he never wants to see me again, that's okay. But I needed to get this story out there because it's been on my shoulders too long. So I found out that yes, he was a part. And the reason he wouldn't tell me and Taz why he was so freaked out that night was because he didn't want us to know that they knew what he was.
Dangerously fatigued, sloshed to the gills, and clinical shock. It set a new high score regarding his loss of control. Yes, I think this is a real mindfulness, isn't it? Don't get drunk before doing your crimes.
I have a song called Just VR that I wrote about everything I felt and everything that was said to me in that time. So yeah, that's my story.
There was only one way left. Forwards from the direction of the sunset.
And if you've ever heard You Promised, which I'm planning on redoing, like I said earlier, I'm planning on redoing all my old songs. You Promised was the first that I made when he started turning on me. And the part that says she was born when you came back was Stella, the avatar. Now, as for Stella, after everything that happened, it's gonna sound really stupid the way I put it, but it feels this way. I pushed her away for a long, long time after that. But I decided to let her in as one of my saunas, and I realized it was helping me heal to bring her with me. To carry that avatar with me really helped me move forward because it represented a part of me that was left behind when I started pushing her away after the girl I was when all that happened was there. And when I let Stella in as another part of me, I started healing more since then.
It would avoid that problem.
Like, she's healing with me.
As fast as the last threads of energy allowed him, his wobbly steps danced on the treacherous ground to support the balance, clumsy tango towards destination. But when he had made
that's my story.
His life was about to change forever.
Hope y'all like it.
Money,
if you relate, I'm so sorry.
Firmly tucked under his arm, he bolted from the scene.
And if you've been through something similar,
ferocity of 1,000 suns. The pain swept
you're not alone.
Like poison, but a primal, desperate urge propelled
it's
him.
real.
As he reached populated territory,
I don't care how far away they are.
Great, because I can't think
I don't care if it's through VR. I don't care if you have phantom sense.
Hide the money among the junk and clutter.
You are valid. Your story's valid.
It would take the police months to search
and it's not your fault. It never was.
Before in this strategy, reared its head when he ran into some men toiling away at the nearby petrol station.
Thanks for listening.
As they had been in work-related contacts before.
Have a great day, everybody. Okay. In the first part of this video, I missed a few details that are pretty important. Also, backstory of this particular cover. This is another one of me and my brother taking a picture together based on the situation and everything. The blue bunny is me. The red-eyed demonic thing in the background is my brother. So he helped me set that up, and I got this cover made from that little setup. And I actually had to do a lot of editing because this bunny avatar I was using really glows, so I had to darken that spot and everything, but it turned out pretty good afterwards. So that's the backstory on that one. But on the other hand, I left some things, I forgot some details that I just remembered in the first section of the video. So, at a few different points throughout the time I knew Pyro, he talked me into wiping our DMs in Discord. To start a clean slate is how he'd put it, but in reality, I think it was removing evidence. And when he left, we had our own little server we'd talk through. And when he left, we deleted that server. So every conversation we ever had was wiped completely. I still have some screenshots that I was smart enough to take, but other than that, it's all just gone. Because now that I look back on it, he was covering his tracks. So that's alarming on many levels, but yeah. Ooh. I'm also working on getting some images together for the first bit of the video so I can show some pictures from those times and stuff, and so that will be throughout the video. I just gotta find them because they were like forever ago, and I have like 80,000 pictures on my phone, so, and that is not exaggerating either. So nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. September 25th. It was a lot, but kind of just like any other day. I was at work. The first phone call I received was from Mom. There was a lot that was really off that I never realized was off in the moment. Not to mention he would only treat me like a human being when we were alone, which was really suspicious looking back on it, but I never noticed, of course. I don't understand how that works, how it is so easy for them to just blind you. I don't know, I'm not gonna be home until after 10. I'm going on a date. But yeah, there was a lot that I kind of blocked out, but I've been trying to remember as much as possible. This wasn't that rare. You know, I would get these phone calls. But I will make more videos if I remember anything else. Most of the time I was a kid behind a headset glow. Voice shaking, learning how to say no.
You said my name like it was yours to own. Hold your hands through wires, I felt alone. This stays between us, you whispered low. This is our secret.